Good morning, everybody. Wycliffe Barrett here, Explain Dedicated. Now, uh, the purpose of this stream is to talk about VATSIM, and also if anybody's got any questions about VATSIM, for me to try and answer them. Now, my understanding is you'll be able to uh, send me chat messages, and I will be able to see them. Obviously, one hopes. Occasionally, what I will do is I will check to see how many people are around. We've got there's at least one person here, so if that person could send me a message and let me know that you can hear me, that I'm broadcasting all right, and that you can hear everything that I'm saying. So if you send me a message, I'd be grateful. Um, the the difficulty is, I have to say, is that um, I can't see exactly what's going on. Um, So I need to just open another window over here, and then I can check where we're at. Yes, here we go. So if you've got any questions, just type them in, and hopefully we'll be able to see them. Let me just check that the messaging system is working. So I'll just write in here, hello. Um, Hi, audio is good. So Ewan Galloway is back, and he says the audio is good. Thanks for sticking around, Ewan. I know you was on the other stream. Um, I'm using this is a new package. This is called Restream from Restream.io. And this is specifically a studio type environment. Unfortunately, I cannot get the two cameras working at the same time. Probably could if I upgraded to the Pro version, but the Pro version is a little bit expensive. Um, so, Ewan, you've written back, but unfortunately, that is not shown up in my private chat here. So I'm not quite sure how that works, but I can see it on 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 the other screen that I'm monitoring the other screen with. Okay, so let me know what the video looks like. You said that you can hear me. Okay, lighting is all right. We've got nice daylight coming in through the window, and we've got some lights on up above. So, any questions about VATSIM? This is specifically for beginners. I've advertised it on the VATSIM for Beginners Facebook page, so you never know, we might get some people coming in from there. That's who it's aimed at, and anybody who might have any questions about VATSIM. Just to give you a little bit of background, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Wycliffe Barrett. I've been a flight sim enthusiast for 20 uh, 25 years, maybe a bit more actually. Um, and First started off using um, military simulators, and the very first simulator I had is the very first simulator I had was SWATL, or Secret Weapons of the Luftwaffe, and that was produced by Microprose. And then I had a load of military sims after that. I'm too many to recall. Jane's F-15 Strike Eagle I had. F-117 I had. AV-8B Harrier Jump Jet. I had loads of military sims, and then I didn't stumble. I came across Microsoft Flight Simulator 95, and from that point on, I've only flown civilian aircraft as opposed to military ones. I have to admit that in terms of military sims, I was never very good at dogfighting. I was pretty good at bombing targets, but never very good at dogfighting. So it was a pleasure to go to the civilian sims and actually begin to learn about flying, IFR flight and VFR flight, and then I attempted to get my private pilot's license for a while, so I had quite a number of flying lessons, but became prohibitively expensive, especially during the Thatcher years. We won't say anything more about that, but it did become prohibitively expensive. So that's my background in flight simulation. In terms of VATSIM, I have been a member of VATSIM since 2005. Now, when I first joined VATSIM, we used to use something called Roger Wilco. That was the communication package. It was called Roger Wilco, and it got heavily abused. We'd get people coming in, and they would just they would be speaking all over frequencies, and the sound quality was not very good, and it was very, very difficult to get it working. And so for a year, I kind of gave up. I installed it. I tried it for about a month, and because of all the idiots that would come in and talk over people and just create mayhem, trolls, I suppose they weren't called trolls back then; they were just called idiots. But because of the trolls, it used to get really, really bad. Anyway, so for a year I didn't bother with VATSIM, and then a package came out called, oh gosh, I got to remember now. I think it was FSIN. FSIN came out, and that enabled you to connect to the VATSIM network a lot easier. And also, they changed from Roger Wilco to their own specific voice codecs. At the time, it was revolutionary, and of course, it stopped the idiots because everything was linked to IP addresses, and members had to have a real email address to register, and it was totally different. Anyway, over the years, I've achieved, should I say, a number of ratings as a controller. So I've started off as a tower controller, then I became radar controller, and then an en route controller, which is a C3. So I'm rated as a C3 controller, which means I can control en route, high level traffic, all the way down to ground. I've been a VATSIM membership director. So I was the VATSIM membership director and manager for the UK. I've also been a DCRM, which is a divisional conflict resolution manager. I think I was a director or a regional manager over in West Asia, VATSIM West Asia, for a while, because me and some colleagues, we opened up VATSIM West Asia. And at the moment, and I don't mind saying this, I am now a VATSIM supervisor. The role of the supervisor is to help and educate in the first instance. That's our primary role, but then if things get awkward, we will use the powers that we have to monitor the network and ensure that the network is operating in a friendly and kind environment. VATSIM is a learning environment for everybody, and the role of the supervisor, the first role of the supervisor is to help and educate. Oh, excuse me. To help the network run efficiently. Anyway, so that's me in VATSIM. I can't remember how many controlling hours I've got. So I think it's something like 6,000 controlling hours, 4,000 flying hours, and quite a bit of experience. So that is the purpose. That is where I'm coming from in terms of VATSIM for beginners. So if you have any questions, please fire away. I will try and help. If I don't know the answer, we'll find the answer. I mean, if you've got problems with connecting or anything like that, ask the question, and hopefully we'll get there. See, there's a number of people watching the stream, so if you just say hello, and then we'll give you a shout out. We have one individual there. And I'm not even going to respond. Al Smoken, hello, nice to see you. I'm pretty sure I recognize your name, Al Smoken. I'm not quite sure. Hello, anyway, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be in the world. Hope you're well and safe. So don't forget, any questions, just hammer them in. Just type them in there and I will see them. Darren Foe, of course, a good friend of mine, Darren Foe, morning, thought I'd pop in and say hello. You can join me if you want on the stream. Maybe I could invite you in if you've got a webcam, Darren, just let me know and we'll sort that out. How do I connect to VATSIM through the Epic Games servers? Well, I'm not quite sure I know what the Epic Game servers are, and you won't be able to connect to VATSIM through them, um, because VATSIM has its own servers. Um, can you, Alan? Can you just say what the Epic Game servers are and what they're in relation to? Because maybe I can do a quick Google search. You've watched me for years. I thought I recognised your name. I'll smoke them. Epic Game servers. Uh, no. Yeah. Right. Okay. Simple answer is no. You can't. And yeah, let's not go down that route here. For some, I don't know what it is. For some reason, some people think that Fortnite is something that we were talking about on a VATSIM for beginners um, stream. It isn't. Okay, so simple answer, no, and go away. Thank you. Um, the For those of you who are not aware, the VATSIM network is a network of, I think it's 7 or 8. It used to be 7. I think it might be 8 servers around the world. Um, and those servers are owned by. I was going to say they're owned by VATSIM, but they're donated. They're donated by VATSIM. They're donated by people who are VATSIM members. Um, there is very strict rules about how you donate to VATSIM because VATSIM is free to the end user. So, people like me and Darren and anybody else who flies on VATSIM or controls on VATSIM, it doesn't cost us anything. It doesn't cost us a penny. It is totally free. The servers are free. The network's free. The software that we use is free. Um, the only thing that we have to pay for is the flight simulator of choice. So the 7 networks, the 7 servers are right around the world, and I mean literally right around the world. There's 2 in the UK, there's 2 in America. Um, Europe has 1 or 2, I think, and then you've got Oceania, which is Australia. They have a couple. So there's a number of servers, and they're all linked. They're all linked around the world. So it doesn't matter where you live in the world, you can connect to a server. Most people, when they set up VATSIM, they connect to the server in their country. So I would always use the UK server, but it doesn't matter. I could be flying. I could be sat here in my house in Wales and connect to a server in the United States, and it would still show me. My aircraft would still be on the ground at Cardiff Airport, and I would still see all the aircraft around in the world. So it's an interconnected network. As I say, the servers are donated and they are used by the individuals. It, and it's massive, really. It is massive. Um, Outspoken, you've always been afraid to join an ATC. When you say afraid to join an ATC, do you mean you've always been afraid to just join VATSIM? Well, as Darren says, we all started somewhere. Paul, don't even ask. Don't even ask. Um, we all started at the same place. I recall starting on VATSIM, and um, even though I've done public speaking for years, I've spoken to audiences of 30 and audiences of 3,000. I'll never forget the first time that I pushed the button. Uh, it can be, a bit nerve-wracking, but once you've done it, it's really quite straightforward. If there's any particular part of it, Al, that worries you, just say, and we'll talk about that. I can't connect to VATSIM on. Oh God. I'm not even going to respond. as I say, if you tell us what the specific part of it is that that you're afraid of, then or worried about, not afraid, worried about, then let us know, and we'll deal with that as best we can. Okay. Um, just doing a little bit of stuff here. Okay. It's like I say, VATSIM. We're just normal people, I mean, a lot of people seem to think that the ATC, the guys that do ATC, are real air traffic controllers. They're not. Some of them are. There are a couple who are real world air traffic controllers, but in terms of the service they provide on VATSIM, they will provide no different a service than I do, or Darren does. Darren's a controller as well, and so the majority of VATSIM ATC controllers are just normal guys. I worked in local government before I retired. Darren works at Heathrow and Gatwick airports. I won't say what he does. He's not a pilot, and he's not ATC, and he's not a toilet cleaner. Although the toilet cleaners are very important, just like anybody else. Yeah, that's fine, Darren. I've hidden them. If you want to remove them, please remove them. The So the guys that do VATSIM, who go on VATSIM, they're just normal people, just like me and you. And for them, it's a hobby, the same as flying is a hobby for you. Controlling is a hobby for me and for anybody else. I used to be a DJ, Ewan. I was a DJ many, many, many years ago in Bolton, in Lancashire. And I also lived in Corfu for a couple of years DJing, but that was in another life when I was a lot younger, believe me, when I was a lot younger. So I've been a DJ, and I've done public speaking. I've spoken at trade union conferences. My job for 30 years was a training and development officer, so I was a lecturer. So I've spoken as well. Not that that makes any difference. I remember that still, even now, when I press the button for the first time on the mic, and it's the same for all of us. But once you get past that first one, you do it the first time, it's not a problem, honestly. And clearly, there's things like flight planning, but there's so much out there. There's so many people to help. It's just there. Okay. I have vinyled many of the toilet walls in T5 though. You're just afraid to make a mistake or say the wrong thing. I haven't flown in a while, but I'm thinking about starting again. Right, look, we all make mistakes. I put a video up the other day on Facebook. If I could find the link, I would. But it was of damn it, it's a live webcam, and it was at, I'm trying to remember which airport it was at. I can't, and I will go and find it in a minute because I'm pretty sure that I've still got the link and the URL. And it's a real world airport, and it was live ATC. But not only at that, they have a webcam, and I was watching it, and an aircraft, and it was Air Bulgaria or Bulgaria Air, one of the one way or the other, and he called up for clearance, and he said, tower requesting clearance to such a place, but I can't remember where it was. Brussels. He was flying to Brussels, and the tower controller said, "There is no flight plan for you, sir. Could you please check?" And I thought that only happened in VATSIM. So there's a real world pilot, airline pilot, and he had forgotten to file his flight plan. So it happens to happens to professionals. There's a friend of mine, Andy Wilson, who started on Flight Simulator FS 2004 and is now a real world pilot and flies for EasyJet. Okay, he went down to New Zealand and stayed down in New Zealand for 2 years to get his ATPL. But Andy has told us many times, I mean, he controls on VATSIM, he flies on VATSIM, he's a real world pilot, and he has told us countless times and many times that pilots, they make simple, silly mistakes, whether it be with the radio telephony, not so much flying their aircraft, but certainly, maybe going down the wrong taxiway at New York or whatever. So it happens. Right, let's catch up. I did fly VATSIM once in a while, but I'm just worried about saying anything wrong. But Kazato, don't worry about saying anything wrong. Honestly, if you're new, put in your remarks, new pilot, and ATC will see your remarks and they will act accordingly. And if somebody speaks too fast, so you get a controller that says Speedbird 2302, your files to Madrid on a Brecon 1 Alpha departure, runway 30, QNH is 1010. All right. And some ATC speak like that, and in America, even worse. Then, if you didn't catch all of that, just say, please repeat slowly, I am a new user. And then the controller will say, Speedbird 2302, you're cleared to Madrid, a Brecon 1 Alpha departure, initial altitude 6,000 feet, squawk 3636, QNH is 1010. There you go. We'll all do it. So anyway, Darren's offering. So everyone at the beginning, even myself and Wycliffe, come on the network, make mistakes, learn from them, move on. You'll never look back once you've signed on that one time. Yes, for sure. It is quite literally, once you do that first one, then you're good. You really are. And I would say to anybody, get on there, make that first move. And it'll be good. I'm just looking, checking Facebook to see what's happening with VATSIM for beginners, and my notifications won't come up. I'll tell you what I will do. What I'll do in a moment is I'm going to talk through about connecting to the network and how you do it. It's really quite straightforward. I'm just looking. Okay. There we go. I just put on VATSIM for beginners Facebook page. So for those of you who maybe don't know how to get online, it's quite straightforward. Okay, so this is how it works. You go to vatsim.net. Okay, I'm going to put it up here, www.vatsim.net. You go there, vatsim.net, and from there you simply go to there's two sections, you'll see them up at the top, and it'll say something like ATC or pilots. I wonder if I can share my screen. I can share a screen, so let's get rid of that. And if I'm really clever, you never know, I might be clever enough to do this. I think I am. Here we go. So let me put this on screen over here. You should be able to see this, because there we go. I'm going to share screen 2 with you, right? Okay, so vatsim.net, and let me know if you can see that. I'm pretty sure you can see that. I think. There we go. I can even spotlight it. Woohoo! And There we go. So VATSIM.net, okay. It says join here down the bottom, and that's where you would go to. Um, there are 965 members currently connected. You go to pilots and it says getting started. Click on that, and this is where you go, okay. So you can go to join VATSIM. You can join VATSIM here. You can familiarize yourself with the basics, and I would say that everybody should read the Pilot Resource Center. Choose a pilot client. I mean, it just tells you the steps: 1, 2, 3A, 3B, 4, 5, and listen and begin. It is really that simple. You can join VATSIM here. We'll just click on that, yeah, and it brings up useful documents. You should read these, and then you register, yeah, and get started. It is that simple. It really is. You just simply go back to the first page. So you go to vatsim.net. You can click on pilots, and you just go from there. Or even you can go down here and join here. 970 members currently connected. Very clever indeed, right? So let's take the spotlight off and put me back up there and turn that off down there. Yeah, that's clever. Learning stuff all the time. Learning all the time. Although I'm trying to find my monitor. Here we go. Winfrank1, hope you're doing well. I am. I'm doing very well. Paul Firth, I cannot see this. Oh, I can now. I see it. Yeah, yeah. Sorry. I'm learning this studio software as we go along. Apparently, I can put funky backgrounds on or do stuff and turn that off. And can I put a there's overlays as well. We can have this because it's Halloween. We should have a Halloween overlay on, I think. So, Darren's put. Oh, what's this? Darren. Oh, Darren's gone first wings. First wings event. There we go. They've started what VATSIM has done. They've got a marketing team now, and the marketing team have been very good at actually putting things together. In so much as they um, they they've kind of now started doing these first wing events, which is something that took place quite a while ago, I have to say, some many years ago. But now they're doing it on a more official basis. So if there are people who have never been on VATSIM, those of you who are a bit intimidated, go to one of those events. Failing that, hit up Darren or myself on Facebook on Explain Dedicated, and we will help you out. I'm still kind of waiting to see some more questions. It's on November the 8th, so only a few days away. So really, what you need to do is you need to get this sorted fairly quickly, don't you? You need to be able to get. Oops, wrong one. There we are. So let's have a check on questions. Darren phone. Paul Firth, you can't hear me now. Can you hear me now? No audio, Darren. I can't hear anything. Oh. I wonder if audio goes off when I use the other screen. Right. Okay, Darren. I'll something I'll check. Audio obviously goes off when I'm when I'm sharing the screen. Okay. Well, I was just going through what you need to do to join. That's all. Good on the screen. So, I mean, I'd be really interested to what you think of this, using this Restream Studio. You know, the way that it looks with the overlays and everything. I can change these overlays. I can put my own logo on if I wish. Yeah, I can take off this logo. I can put my own logo on, but I would have to upgrade the package. And so what I'm using now is the free package. With the upgraded package, I can do a lot more. But I think this looks all right. I don't, would I really need to have any more on screen than this? Tell me what the resolution looks like. This is not 1080p resolution. I think it's 720 at Looms good to me. Looms good. I don't know. Looms. Right. My throat's drying up a bit. Hang on. Always have a big bottle of squash when you're streaming. As you can tell, my voice is going. So there's only 10 people watching at the moment. So I haven't had 10 different people ask questions. But if you've got a question now, ask away, and we would certainly endeavour to answer them. I mean, I could talk about VATSIM all day, but it would be a lot better. I look like a 20-year-old. Thank you. Look at the eyebrows, though. I'm beginning to look a bit like what was his name? What was his name? What was that politician's name with the eyebrows? Anyway, Dennis Healy. If anybody can remember him, but no, I'm 20 years old. I wish I was 20 years old. CSLs, or is that too much of a mission? I think that might be too much of a mission, to be honest, right now, Darren. Unless somebody's got problems with CSLs, but I think in terms of VATSIM for beginners, we probably might want to keep away from that. I know that CSLs in Swift is a nightmare. Martin Allen Key. Jeff. Hiya, Jeff. Jeff! Yeah, happy. Yeah, is something wrong with your fingers today, Darren? Have your fingers gone super fat and you can't go on the keyboard anymore? Yeah, CSLs, they can be a bit of a nightmare, I think. But even if you follow the instructions, it can be a nightmare. Now, my CSL folder has been specially constructed. So first of all, what are CSLs? CSLs are files that show, when you're online in VATSIM, show aircraft in the correct liveries, okay? And without a CSL folder, all you'll see is plain grey aircraft. But when I say plain grey, I mean very plain grey. So, Martin Allen Key. Oh, your name is Jeff. Right, how do you use XPilot? Okay, I can show you how we use XPilot because my simulator is still running, but I need to share my screen. It says stop sharing. I'm not sharing. Hang on. Let me just go back to, let me minimize that. Stop sharing. So stop sharing that one. Share screen. Let me minimize this. Share screen 2. Share. Put that over there. Okay. Right, tell me if you can still hear me. I think you can. I think you can. I can see the audio bar going okay. Right, so you can still hear me. And here we've got, I've just opened up X-Plane. And because it's running. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and load up XPilot. Now, down here, oh gosh, no, that's not working, is it? Right, down here on my screen, on my toolbar, I've installed XPilot, and I'm going to open it up and move it over to the other screen so you can see it, I hope. All right. Right, here is XPilot, okay? And I'm actually connected to the internet. So I'm just going to disconnect, and you can see the messages coming up there. So I've actually disconnected. All right. You install XPilot. It is such a straightforward installation. It actually does everything for you. But what you have to do in your settings, you'll go into settings, and you will have to put your VATSIM ID in and your VATSIM password. Okay. You can see that there. So VATSIM ID and then your VATSIM password. Obviously, I'm not going to show you my password. Your name and your home airport and the server you want to use. And as I said earlier, I'm using UK1. Okay, those are the servers throughout the world. Canada, Germany has got 2, Singapore, UK, USA East, USA West. I think there might be a couple of others as well, but I use UK1. Over here, flash taskbar icon. There's a couple of things you can do over here. You don't need to do them. And then you set up your push to talk audio device. So mine's a Corsair. There we go. And you don't even have to do a test. In the past, you had to do a test to make sure your mic was working, but you can see that my mic is working. The volume bar is moving up and down. I can turn it up a little bit, but I don't want it. It's okay if it goes into the green. If it goes into the green, that's all right, but we don't want it going into the red at the far end because it'll be too loud. It'll overmodulate and it'll sound dreadful to people, okay? I set a push to talk button, which is on my X52 Cytec. I've got a joystick button on my controller here, which I can't show you into camera, but my controller is here, my throttle controller is here on the left hand side of the keyboard. As I move the throttle, you can see it there in the aircraft. And I have a button on there that I can use for push to talk. Okay, so that's the setup. There's even a guided setup there on the left hand side, the little button that you can click. So you close that. All your information is in. You load up at an airport. I'm just going to test and connect. So I connect. Yeah, you put in your aircraft. I'm not in the 737-8. I'm in a 737. I need to change that. So change the cell code. So I'm in a 737-200. That one. Okay. So I'm in a 737-200. That will change. Connect. I'm connected to the internet there. Okay. I am connected. Now to check, if you see here, you've got these two buttons. It says clever. We'll just disconnect. There's somebody on there actually messing around, broadcasting music over one of the frequencies. I should go on as a supervisor and get rid of them, but I'm doing this instead. So let me do that again. So I'll just open up XPilot. Okay. and connect. It looks as though they've gone. Whoever it was may have been removed. Oh no, hang on. Right, they've gone. I'm just typing a message on Unicom. Okay. So they were probably broadcasting over Unicom. So I'm going to check that my transmit button is working. And as I push the button there, you can see it lighting up down there. Okay. So that means that I'm connected to the internet. I'm connected to VATSIM and everything's good. Yeah, there we go. Some idiot, clearly being an idiot. We'll find out who that is later and get rid of them. not me, but somebody else will. Hang on, let's return to X-Plane. Now I just need to figure this out and come back to me. There we go. So that is how you connect using XPilot. Just let's go back to the questions here. Oh, all right. So Darren did like Swift, and I liked Swift as well. I thought Swift was very good, but it was pretty cumbersome. XPilot is the way forward nowadays. I type too quick, so 80 words a minute with 70% errors. So you type in 10 words a minute. Does VATSIM still have the rating trials? There is a rating system for pilots. There's P1, P2, and so forth and so on. You don't need them. You don't have to go for them, although we don't have Spotify integration with VATSIM. Dell, go away, please. Anybody who plays music or anything else over VATSIM will be removed immediately. Believe me, they'll be removed by a supervisor. So getting back to ratings, yes, there is a rating system, and in fact now I believe when you join VATSIM, you have to do a multiple choice questionnaire, which is so easy because it's open book, which means you can go and find the answers on Google. You know, it's not time limited or anything like that. You can just go and get it straight away. Really simple, no problems at all with that. So yeah, it's really, it's really quite straightforward. Just jump on, you know, hit me or Darren up on Facebook or TeamSpeak. There is an X-Plane dedicated TeamSpeak server. I haven't used it that much because of perennial problems with trolls, but I think it's secure enough now that you can go in there and it be, fairly clear of idiots, so you don't get too many problems. Did I check my lottery tickets last night? I can't remember. Probably did. Yeah, if I did and I'd won, I wouldn't be sat here now. Okay, guys, I think I'm gonna call it. What time did I start this stream? I started this quite some time ago now. And what I will do is we'll do another one in the near future. We'll advertise it again, and I will do something like this. I might even use Live Studio for live streaming. We'll see. Black Knight. No, I don't want to hear a joke. Not at all. Sounds like, yeah, I can't see why not. Can't see why not, Darren. We'll have to get that together somewhere along the line. Well, as long as we've done that, that's That's all that is required. That's all that is required. For the rest of you, I know there's like 11 people watching. I hope you found some of this useful. If you did, then great. So I know that we've got some thumbs up, and that's all that matters. Don't forget, Explain Dedicated is on Facebook, is on YouTube. We will be getting back to reviews, etc., in the near future. It'd be nice to see some comments as to whether you like this studio, this Restream studio, with the overlays and such like. I kind of like it. I think it's pretty neat. Black Knight, I'm fine. I'm really good. I'm really great. Everything's going well. I'm quite happy at the moment. It's Sunday, so that's even better. And the weather is it's a bit windy. It might be too might be too windy to go flying with these, but I could certainly fly around the garden with this little one, not with the big one. I've got loads of them. If you could see the other part of my room, so over there with my drum bag, and then there's stuff down there, the shelves, some planes up there. Typical man cave. Typical man cave. I bought my new chair, which is absolutely wonderful. Let me show you that. Can you see that? This chair. And yeah. So everything's good. Everything's good here in XPD HQ. Let me just sort this camera out. There we go. Yes. So happy days, as they say. Happy days. Camera's a bit. Although somebody said to me, "Oh, what webcam do you use?" I'll show you, because I have two of them. I think Darren asked me about webcams as well. So this is what I use. It's out of focus slightly, but it's a Logitech HD 720. No, that's not the model number. But it's just a simple little Logitech. That's all it is. Hang on, let me get it in shot. That is all it is. And I have two of them. And I can't even remember how much they are. They're so cheap. They are so cheap. Yes, I remember, Darren. Yeah, we had a conversation. I think I advised you on that. They're brilliant cameras for what they are. I mean, there's no need to buy expensive cameras. I mean, here, this is my vlogging camera, which is, I mean, this is the one that vloggers use. Yeah, get it into shot. This is a Canon G7X. In fact, this is absolutely brilliant. But once again, you kind of, you got to kind of know what you're doing. You got to get your light right. So like there, perfect light, and holding them. So we have Joby tripods and desk tripods. But if anybody's thinking about vlogging, you won't go wrong with your mobile phone. Where's my phone gone? I'll be back. Let me find my phone. All right. So I don't know if any of you know who Casey Neistat is. Casey Neistat is a YouTuber influencer with 10 million subscribers. But in one of his videos, he was saying that gear, when he talks about gear, he talks about cameras. He said gear is less important than the story, and that the story is the main thing. And he said, and still says even to this day, excuse me, he says that what is more important is the story, and that you can use your phone. Yeah. So I'm on a Samsung S9. I'll be getting an A70 in a couple of weeks. And some of the videos I've done with this are equally as good as what I've done with my Canon, which cost me £350. Um, so, if you feel like becoming a vlogger, you can use your mobile phone just as easily. Some of the capabilities of mobile phones far exceed anything that you could buy in the store. You saw a GIF video. Because Paul, when you've made it on YouTube when you've got trolls. That's why. And that. What can I say? If you want to look at somebody who really has a lot of trolls, look at Bellends, Matt Davis. He's when you're on YouTube, trolls will come for you because they're idiots and they have nothing better to do, and they're sat in their mother's basements in their underpants, eating cornflakes and never seeing the light of day. And they'll be the people that will get COVID-19 with any luck. The Canon. This is the G7X. That's all you really need to know, Darren. G7X, fabulous camera. You've seen me use this. You've seen me use this at Cosford. Absolutely brilliant for vlogging. There we go. The forward-facing screen just makes it so easy. There's a record button on the back there, so I'm actually recording now, literally. There we go. You just look straight down the lens, and you've got the screen above, so you can frame your image and everything. Absolutely superb. And I've used a couple of cameras for vlogging. I used to have a Canon SLR camera, which was a great camera, but it didn't have a flip screen on it. And it was a great camera, but it was heavy. You put it on a tripod. You needed arms like Popeye. New phone. I will be getting the Samsung A71 in the new year. Just having a look through. Yeah, he did, Truth Seeker. Yeah, he did. Yeah. The problem with Matt Bellens is that he doesn't know how to. No, he hasn't got a filter. Yeah, he hasn't got a filter. Ever since I've been on YouTube, ever since I've been on the internet, I've tried to tell the truth. I've tried to be truthful to me, to myself, be true to oneself, or be true to thine self, or whatever. And at the same time, when I created my YouTube channel and my Facebook channel, I said immediately that they would be family friendly, and so you don't hear me swearing. You'll never hear me swear on. You might hear me burp. You might hear me fart, but hopefully you'll never hear me swearing. And Matt, unfortunately, he's got a huge following. He's got a huge following, or he did have. But if swearing and being ageist and anything else is a way of getting followers, then I don't want any part of that. None whatsoever. I will not. There was this thing on Twitch where you'd have girls on Twitch who had thousands upon thousands and I mean hundreds of thousands of followers, but that was because they were sat there in their bras. And me and a friend, we used to joke that maybe I should sit here with no shirt on and start swearing, and then I'd get hundreds of thousands of followers. But I don't want that for me, what is the point of that at all? Okay, people say, oh, like for example, on VATSIM, you get people who might swear at somebody, and they might write something stupid, and they're dealt with, and they get really stressed out. Oh, well, that's not really swearing. That's not really swearing. Well, it is. It doesn't matter if it's if it's if it's a word that offends anybody, then it's swearing. And and I know, and that there are 13-year-olds that hear far worse in the playground at school. Okay, but we don't want it on a social environment, plain and simple. Um, and anyway, I don't want to. I don't want to go on about that too much, but yeah, you're quite right, Truth Seeker. Matt, he just hasn't got a filter. He just goes in there and straight out there with no filter in between. Um, and he's done over the years. He's done some foolish things, and he is his own worst enemy in many ways. In many ways. Um, if you want to sub to my Patreon, fine, you can do that, and I'd really appreciate that. You can even do a super sub on here on through YouTube if you wish. I I don't I don't I don't I don't I don't ask for money that Matt Davis has, because he's got himself in situations that, because he has no business sense, and he's openly, in my view, openly begged for money. Anyway, there we go. You know, if somebody wishes to donate, then please do. If you don't, then it's fine. I'm not. Anyway, it's time for me to go. Adebe Adebe Opotaweo. Bye. Right, I'm going to call it a day. It's probably close to an hour now on this stream. It was for beginners. For those of you who've been here, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for staying and getting through what sometimes can be hard. Right, you need more tea. I need more coffee. Thank you, Paul, for being here. Everybody, thank you very much. We'll see you again soon. Take care. Whatever you're doing, wherever you are in the world, take care. Stay safe. We'll get through all this rubbish together. We'll get through to the other side, and hopefully we'll have some kind of normality in the near future. Some kind of normality. Okay, we'll see you all soon. Take care.